Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another Morgan James book launch. My name's Jim Howard. I'm the publisher for Morgan James Publishing. And today I am so excited because we've got a powerful, amazing author to introduce you to, Elisa Escalante. And Elisa is the author of Unseen, Uncovering the Invisible Wounds of Military Trauma. Elisa, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you. And just thank you for all of this.
Well, we're excited. This book is so powerful and I think such a very necessary tool for a lot of people because of the hope and the help that it offers and what it can do for people once they start to read it. So what can you tell us a little bit about, what inspired you to start writing Unseen?
Yeah, sure. A couple of crucial points to mention is first getting back home from Afghanistan, but also getting out of the military completely, which was a year and a half after my deployment.
Mm.
Um, I think what happened was I was a little bit pressured. I was pressured into watching some war movies and reading some literature on military trauma. And I got frustrated as a mental health tech and then later as a therapist, just seeing that I felt that there was a lot missing from the topic.
Mm.
And unfortunately, I felt that some of what I was seeing was adding to the stigma of military trauma versus decreasing it. So I decided that we need more. We need more information on this topic, and we need to lessen the gap and the cultural clash between civilian and veteran versus increasing that gap.
Mhm.
So since I've been writing since I was 6, I decided maybe this is what I really need to write about. I never written anything that I felt was publish worthy up until I started writing this, and it came out naturally while I was working at the vet center after my military career.
Yeah, outstanding. So first of all, thank you for your service. Um, and then thank you for, the work that you're doing outside of that. It's such a powerful work, but you come from as someone who experienced it firsthand and then go into an arena where you're helping people overcome some of these things. So you've got I think the perfect background to write this book. And that's probably why it came out so natural and so well and 100% publishing worthy. I think this book is a powerful, powerful tool. So you mentioned there that you noticed there was a lot missing, in for military and veterans and mental health. So as far as programs and resources and things like that, what in your mind is missing?
Prevention more than anything else. I'm allowed to say it now. I I really hated the suicide prevention
Mhm.
briefings that they gave us in the military, and it's especially awkward to get those mandated briefings when you're working in the mental health field. And to me, it wasn't really with the spirit of what prevention means. It was reciting a lot of statistics that we already know about how many military members and veterans are committing suicide. But to me, prevention means, okay, what are we doing to actually prevent it? Like reciting statistics isn't prevention. And giving off these giving the warning signs wasn't even necessarily prevention. To me, prevention means how do we stop someone from actually wanting to commit suicide in the first place? How do we create a work environment that is not hostile? And that takes a lot more digging and a lot more work. And the discussion of mental health is still very intimidating to people. So I think that's really what's missing is the prevention piece. Now, as far as post-military service for veterans, what's missing is understanding just how intricate and delicate that transition process is. I didn't really even have a good feel on it until I got out myself. And then I felt it. And it was not an easy thing to admit at first. I felt like, oh, I'm this quote unquote cliche vet that feels like I'm missing something or there's something different about this transition and it's not comfortable. But with every client I've worked with every veteran friend I've had, and with myself, we felt this, after getting out. And it's something that needs to be talked about more. And we need more connection after getting out of service.
Outstanding. And I think a book like this, coming from the source that it comes from, with the conversations that it starts, maybe that's what's needed. We need something to kickstart the conversation in a real authentic way, so that we can open up ourselves to new ideas and new ways of looking at solutions, as opposed to just statistics.
Yes.
I think that is a powerful, powerful place to be. So you, coming from the background that you have, right, transitioning from the military, towards the duty, coming over, working with vets, and then moving into the mental health arena. um, I can imagine that maybe putting some of this together, you said it came out kind of natural, but there had to be some hindrances. Like, you just were that last question, you just kind of were relieved. I can say it now. But writing the book, did you find moments where it was difficult, or have anxieties about, putting this together and actually putting it out there for others?
Yes, absolutely. And I have a copy right here if you just want to take.
Amazing cover, by the way. I love that.
Yes, I was so happy with what Morgan James did. They did exactly what I asked. And almost like right away, they captured like the essence, like with the artwork and everything. But yeah, I was so nervous. I think I became more nervous about it after I had talked to the publishing director, and it became a real thing, like, wow, this is going to get published. And so, the pressure was on in my mind, and I started to have like little anxiety attacks and um, some depressive bouts while I was writing it. But I that's always been me, like a fear of criticism, and what are people going to think? It was a very vulnerable thing to write, although I'm writing more so about all veterans, or trying to encompass all veterans. I still shared bits and pieces of myself in there, and it was vulnerable. And I I admit I was worried about what kind of backlash am I going to get. Not not too much from veterans, because I think any veteran that has suffered from any type of military trauma is going to find something they relate to in the book. I was worried a little bit about other clinicians and how they were going to take it, because it's raw, and I didn't really hold back too much. Um, and it's the kind of thing, no matter what, some people might argue with it, but it's 100% my truth and my experience, at least. And what helped me get through it was just knowing, if it can save one person's life or get someone in, to finally go to therapy, then, it's worth writing. So that's what got me through it, no matter how anxious I was.
Yeah. Absolutely. And thank you so much for that courage. I can tell you, from experience, that anytime we share our personal stories, that intimidation is there, right? Because we're uncovering parts of us that no one knows but us. But in those moments, what happens, and what you've done with your book, is you've created a vehicle where other people, when they read this, we all put this veil of vulnerability up that we hide behind, because it keeps us from being vulnerable. But in those stories that we read, when we can align ourselves with that story, or with that author, or with that person in the story, it allows us to pull that veil down so that truth can penetrate. And that's where we see true change. And you've done that so beautifully. And I love your take. If someone gets upset about it, that's one thing. But if someone gets help from it, that's everything. And I
Yeah.
love that you shared your story here, and your insight of what you've learned along the way, and how you're helping others to be able to help them on their journey. What an amazing, amazing thing to do.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. It's been something. I really had no idea what the journey what it would be like to publish, but it's been a learning experience. And
mm,
um like I told the publishing director, like, Morgan James has been awesome. Like, through the whole thing, I had no idea what to expect or what it would be like, but I felt very comfortable. And I felt like with the meetings that we had, they were really listening and getting a grasp on, what I wanted to make it. You
mm.
know, which is really awesome. Um, I have no regrets like going through them, and I'm very like I'm nervous and excited for this launch date. It feels like it's been a long time coming, and I'm just, ready to have it out there. A lot of my friends and family members, they're excited. Veterans that, I've served with, they're very excited too. So I think overall it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, no question. We're excited as well. And everyone watching, this is a book. And when I first saw it, and we've started talking about this book in particular, I remember thinking that this tool is not just for veterans who have suffered some sort of trauma or going through these issues that they're seeking answers. It is for them, but this is also for you. It's for everyone. We all know at this point in our lives, we know someone, we have family members, we have friends who are dealing with these issues that are sometimes silenced by themselves or silenced by the system. But the fact is, they need help. Sometimes they don't even realize they need
Yeah.
help. This book is an amazing tool to start those conversations. So I would encourage everyone to pick up a copy of this book and start to understand what mental health issues can do to a person, to a family, and to that spirit. So, Elisa, you have done such an amazing job putting this tool together, and I know it's going to have a massive impact on anyone who reads it. Um, is there a way, because I know people are watching us today and hearing this, and are thinking to themselves, how do I get connected, right? How do I get connected with Elisa, and how do I find out more? So is there a way that they can connect with you, or what's the best way for them to find you?
Well, Instagram is pretty easy. Elisa Esca. And my website is elisaescalante.com. Pretty simple. And from there, there's the links, for the book on my Instagram itself. There's a website link in the bio. So I would say that's pretty much the easiest way. I no longer have a private page on Instagram anymore. So, and I also welcome feedback, if anyone reads it and they want to give any kind of comment about anything. I love that. That's my favorite thing. So, people can feel free to, send if they got any type of thing out of the book or any impression. Yeah, please just let me know. I'm very excited for people to start reading it. And you're right, it's for veterans and it's for anyone, who's related to a veteran or married to a veteran, because especially from the outside looking in, it can be very confusing and scary, and there's a lot of unanswered questions. So and it's for anyone who suffered from PTSD, whether they've served or not served. Like, I think a lot of people can get something out of this.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I know it's going to have a massive impact. So, as nervous as it may be, as nerve wracking as it can be, we're getting to that point where this book is going to start making that impact that you wrote the book with the intention of. And I'm excited to see that take place. And as Elisa said, the book is available everywhere books are sold. So you can absolutely go grab your copy now, in any format that you want to read this book in. And we encourage you to do so, because this book is powerful. It's raw and it's real, as she said, which also makes it authentic. And authenticity is where we can truly find the hope and the help that we need to move ourselves forward. So, Elisa, thank you so much for taking the time today just to talk with us for this few minutes, but more importantly, for the work that you've done, for the service that you served, and for your willingness to share your story in the hopes to help someone else in their journey.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim.
Absolutely. And thank you guys for watching. We hope to see you on our next one. And until then, take care.
Take care.